Here we go then with the next record sound here at the Bowling Green. On a Wednesday night, it's disco time. Here's Dana with the Irish hit, number entitled Fairy Tale.
The annual party for players and staff of Kettering Town Football Club. Chief Executive Derek Dougan takes the floor with cleaning lady Mrs. Eileen Prowse. Dougan's career is not without its own fairy tale elements. He was born in Belfast and started work in the local shipyard. In his 38 years, Dougan has played top-class professional football with half a dozen league clubs, become chairman of the Soccer Players Union, the Professional Footballers Association, written a novel and 2 autobiographies, had his own radio chat show, and lately branched out into the world of commerce. But just over a year ago, Dougan ended his 8.5-year association with Wolverhampton Wanderers to become player-manager of the tiny non-league side Kettering Town. His brief? To raise the club from the bottom of the Southern League and get it for the first time into the Football League proper.
I see. Oh, chaps.
The Doog's success has been spectacular, and there's now every sign that 1977 will indeed be Kettering's year.
Hey? What was that? Morty, what was that? I didn't hear that.
Under Dougan's management, last year Kettering Town didn't lose a game in 31 matches. And the team of part-time professionals, that includes accountants, bank clerks and a carpenter, now find themselves at the top of the Southern League. And there's been one other change. Because the team's nickname, the Poppies, was invariably corrupted to the Pansies by rival supporters, the club has now been less ambiguously rechristened the KTs.
Your wife will never... Come on, Gordon, let's wrap it up, son.
Okay, last one.
Let's wrap it up. Come on, let's wrap it up.
Appropriately, the club's revival has coincided with its centenary, an anniversary that was celebrated by a friendly match against First Division side West Bromwich Albion. On paper, Kettering didn't stand a chance, especially as Dougan himself was unable to play because of a knee injury. The most he could do was to deliver the manager's ritual pre-match pep talk.
Keep telling you, son. Keep it quiet. Dick, you know the drill. Gordon, Dick, Roger, Sean, you and Richard go for everything. Terry, just you play like you played Saturday, son. Watch that old groin and just feel your way into it. Lenny, don't forget if he goes forward, son, I want you to just hold tight on that. Billy, you and Clyde just work together like you have been working. Dave, all the best, son. Yep. Your first game, it's a good one for you. Let's go out and enjoy it now, lads. You've got to go out there and work.
I've been very fortunate that I've acquired about 6 to 8 blokes that can do 2 things. They can pass the ball, and they are prepared to take the responsibility out onto the pitch. And if you've got those 2 ingredients, and if I can motivate them and create the right environment without any pressure whatsoever on them, they can go out there and play. As Bill Shankly said, regardless of all the big fancy facilities, you give me a big open field, a successful side and a rope round the pitch, and there'll be 50,000 there watching that particular match.
Kettering may not have attracted 50,000 for their match against West Bromwich, but it was a tribute to Dougan that for most of the game there was no telling which was the First Division side and which the non-league side. What's more, Kettering went on to win, 3-2. The club's record was to remain intact, 32 games without defeat. Conveniently alongside the Kettering ground is one of Dougan's other enterprises, the central warehouse and offices of the Sports Goods Company of which he is chairman, and which provides him with a handy supplement to the £300 a week that he gets as Kettering's player manager.
Julie,
I've been speaking to Alan, and we've got this pretty exciting January sales coming up. Have you got any problems?
No, not at all.
Any problems?
Well, the supplies, you know, we are short of supplies. And
Sitting behind a desk is not Dougan's natural environment, and today he's come down on one of his frequent trips to London to check on one of the company's retail outlets in a Kensington department store. It's the occasion for another pep talk, but this time the subject is the January sales.
Yes, well, this is something that Alan and I are very mindful of, and there's no doubt really with a new company like we've got at the moment, we've incurred certain problems.
At the height of his playing career, Dougan had something of a reputation as a wild man on the pitch. Today he's no less outspoken, but Derek Dougan, the self-assured business entrepreneur, is in sharp contrast to the tearaway of the 1964 Aston Villa side, who once appeared on the field sporting American haircut. Dougan still lives in the town of his old team, Wolverhampton. Predictably, it's a football-oriented household, with Dougan's German-born wife, Jutta, as stern a critic as any.
You have done better, I can tell that.
Dougan's two sons, Alexander and Nicholas, are still at school, and as far as their father is concerned, education will always come before football.
Well, at once upon a time I thought that you couldn't be a professional sportsman and really get stuck into academic life. Steve Highway, Alan Gowling, Brian Hall and people like this have proved me wrong. I do believe both go together. But what I would like to do, both my sons, if they do have the ability and are lucky enough to become professional sportsmen, that they've got to finish their studies. They have got to do that, because I've seen too much despair, too much heartbreak, that when the cheering stops for blokes, and I've seen household names, that they don't know which direction they're going to go in, they don't know what they're going to do in this hard, cold and commercial world after they finish playing football.
7 o'clock in the evening, and Dougan and the Kettering team go through one of their twice-weekly training sessions. The name on the tracksuits is that of one of the club's biggest sponsors, and it's already involved Dougan in a head-on clash with the FA. When the Kettering side first appeared with their new strip On the Pitch last May, the FA immediately ordered Dougan to remove the name on the grounds that it was an unacceptable form of advertising. Very reluctantly, Dougan did so, but now a new phase in the battle is about to begin.
Well, the next step really is the name will go back on the shirts.
When?
Possibly my next league match. Because I feel now I've done the right thing. I've been down to the Football Association. I've given a full explanation. You see, because we're talking about double standards. They're doing it, and they're saying I cannot. There is nothing in the rules that prevent me from doing it. A lot of the managers, commercial managers of the league clubs, had a get-together for 2 or 3 days in October in London. And that's all they wanted to talk about, was sponsorship and names on shirts, done in a very dignified way. And I said, because they are absolutely choked. The clubs are horrified that they are denied the opportunity of bringing additional money into the game. And I feel quite honestly that I've got to take the bull by the horns and say, well, I've done my bit, I've withdrawn, I've taken the name off the shirts, I've waited 8 months, and I think 8 months is long enough, and I'll be putting the names back on the shirts for the next league match.
On Saturday, though, Kettering will forget the politics of the game and concentrate on beating 4th Division Colchester. In the year that Dougan has been managing the side, they've already beaten half a dozen league clubs, although their record of 32 games without a defeat came to a dramatically abrupt end this week when they lost 4-1 at home against Margate. If Kettering win on Saturday, it could be the start of a giant-killing season for this tiny non-league semi-professional side, whom a year ago most people had never heard of.
If we beat Colchester on Saturday, this will be the first time this century we've got into the 4th round. I believe they're still looking back the records. They got into the 4th round in the late 1880s, and incidentally, I wasn't playing then. I just watched the game, and I think it'll be very exciting, and that will be the greatest motivation for both teams, because they've got the opportunity, Colchester or ourselves, of getting a big attractive plum tie in the 4th round.